So you can see we're making some huge gains on the straw bale walls. These are almost ready for mudding. You'll see that they're stitched together, and the 10X is this stuff right here, giving it some structure and skin. A bit of drywall, but that's for upstairs, that's stick frame. But for now, straw bale. These are stitched and ready to go. Just the last few bits of stitching. The stitching we do with giant needle, oops, and some bale twine. So I'm gonna go to a wider angle. So we pull it through. Pull the bale twine through. Less effective with one hand, but I'm trying to show you what's going on. And then find another spot where it's not stitched, and through it goes. Try and push this one with my foot a little bit. And coming through the other side, you see so yeah, that's the end of the stitching. So yeah, things are still slowly coming together on the straw bale build. You'll see our corners are ready. We just put in windows. For me, that's really exciting. So one of the really, really long processes in this is stitching and stuffing. So you have a wall that looks nice and straight, but when you look at some of the spots specifically, you'll see that there's weaknesses in them. So you need to try and fill. So in between bales is a common place. And yeah, so what we're going to do here is cut across this 10X and stuff larger pieces in here just to make sure. Otherwise, it's going to make the mudding process tougher. So if we pop outside here, Ainsley's working on the same thing on the outside wall. Okay, just your hands. So she's cut a little hole in there, and she's stuffing straw in there to make, she's got a handy dandy magic stick, and she's stuffing it in there to make it nice and solid and fill the gaps. So anyway, that's the update. More to come. So here's a perfect example of where stuffing is needed. So I'm gonna go through and cut the 10X right here. And in doing so, I've created an opening between the 10X. So if I push in here in between the two bales, you'll see clearly that there's a fair bit of space. So we want to make sure that that gets stuffed. So what I'm going to do, it's hard to film and do this at the same time, so sorry for the poor footage. But if you take a flake of straw bale, you can force it into those gaps. I'm embarrassed to show my hands. I've been working really hard. The other part of the problem is that I'm working with a technique called shugi ban, which is a natural way to preserve the wood. I'll show you that in a second, just so you can understand why my hands look the way they do. So what I'm doing here is stuffing this, and I'm going to keep stuffing it so that it's a stronger foundation. And then once I'm done stuffing it, I will take some bale twine and I'll stitch it up. On to why my hands look the way they do. I'll show you an example here. This is a piece of wood that has been burnt. Okay, it's an ancient Japanese technique called shoshugi ban. I think I'm saying it mostly right. And the whole idea is that it gets torched, and then you put a natural oil on it, and it protects it. And you can see my soffit line here is all wood, but it's been done in that technique. Same with the upper build cabin up the hill. You'll see the dark colors in it. So that's why I have really not great looking hands, but cool technique. Pretty stoked with how it's turning out. In this white piece of paper is a template of the plywood where the window sills are. So there's plywood already there, and it's strapped down with bale twine, and I can show you that on site. But what we have here is 3 pieces of elm that have been joined together, and a cutout of the plywood for one of the windows. So we're setting these down and gonna tap into that live edge. In this case, I have sanded this one and I've also varnished it, and that's how the window is going to be finished. So that's definitely gonna be an area where you could maybe have a seat, throw your keys, you know, maybe a plant or two or whatever. That one still needs to be done, but you can see it's in place, and it looks really great, and already there's stuff sitting on it. I can see it being a great seat or storage. This one here is the one you saw before, and this guy here is also finished, and this is the longest window we have. It's about 6 feet long. So I definitely have big plans to sit here on a rainy day and have a few cushions and you know, watch the rain outside. Anyway, that's where the windows are at.